Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice Radio. So today, we're going to be looking at a new Meloetta card. I know, right? We don't get many Meloettas. It's a pirouette form, if anybody's wondering. If that matters to anyone, not the aria form. Which means it's going to be a fighting Pokemon, not a psychic Pokemon. And it is continuing our theme of Pokemon coming out in GG the End in Japan. Being our August set over here. We don't know what that's going to be. We have no information, but it's coming out in August. And it's another one of these ones that helps Tag Team GXs. And spoiler alert, not the last one we're looking at today that helps Tag Team GXs. So, our translation does come from the lovely David Hochmann over at RappelmannTCG. And to start off with the basics here, it's got 90 HP. 90 HP is low. I'm still crossing my fingers for a level ball reprint. The retreat cost of 1 is also low, but I mean low in a good way here. Plus the first attack is for 1 energy, which helps you retreat, and a skateboard is a thing at least for now. Weakness to Psychic, I mean, Psychic decks aren't great right now, and look, you got 90 HP. Weakness should not be your biggest concern. But being a fighting Pokemon's really good right now. It's a basic fighting Pokemon, so Brooklet Hill can search it out. Diancie Prism Star can do an extra 20 damage, which is nice. We've got Fighting Dojo coming, which does an extra 10 damage for any Pokemon with basic fighting energy attached, which this might not have, more on that in a moment, but 40 more if you're behind on prizes. And you're hitting weakness on both Zoroark and Pikachu and Zekrom, both of which are rather phenomenally, awesomely, brilliantly great right now. So all in all, ladies and gentlemen, good time to be a fighting Pokemon. But what does it actually do? Well, the first attack here is the one that helps these Tag Team GXs, and according to David, it says, attach an energy from your hand to one of your Tag Team Pokemon in play. It is nice energy acceleration, but only for Tag Team Pokemon. Now, one of the important things to note here, according to David's translation, and I do trust them pretty well, it says energy, not basic energy. Now, it is from your hand, which means you've got to have it in hand. You can't attach from the deck, boo, hiss, etc. Gutted, get over it, all of that. But it means you can attach a special energy. So something like a double colorless energy can be attached from the hand. Now, to be fair, it is a little bit dodgy attaching from your hand at the end of your turn, if it's a special energy, because essentially you attach a special energy from your hand, and then it becomes your opponent's turn, and you basically sit there crossing your fingers going, come on, don't have an enhanced hammer. Because if they do have an enhanced hammer, yeah, bad news bears. You're essentially just wasting it. And that is far from ideal, ladies and gentlemen. But that's a risk you take with special energy. It's just a shame because if you attach it during your turn, you can at least attack during your turn and you're good to go. Unfortunately, boo, hiss, etc. So, you get to attach extra energy. Now, some of them just aren't going to need it. So if you take something like, let's say the upcoming Giratina and Garchomp, given that they are on the card. And incidentally, we're going to talk more about this in the next video, but these Pokemon that help Tag Team GXs have Tag Team GXs on the card. So, well, let's just say these blurred Pokemon, we've got a bit of a hint coming up now. So, that is a Pokemon that can really take advantage of Malamar. Malamar accelerates psychic energy, and admittedly, Giratina and Garchomp isn't entirely psychic energy, but you're talking kind of 1 psychic, 1 fighting, 1 colorless. So for this, you can just use Malamar. Use Malamar to accelerate the psychic energy, attach the fighting energy from your hand, so you just don't need Meloetta. Similarly, we could look at something like Reshiram and Charizard, whereby, first of all, you've got Kiawe, which allows you to attach 4 energy from your deck and it ends your turn. But by the time it comes out, we're also going to have Welder, which lets you attach 2 fire energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon, and then you draw 3 cards as well. So you ain't going to need Meloetta. For these kind of Pokemon, Meloetta is going to be essentially irrelevant. But one of the ones I like very much here is Celebi and Venusaur. You see, Celebi and Venusaur, we talked about this in the video earlier today. It plays a game where you use Life Forest, Prism Star, and Shaman to do a bit of healing, and there's no energy acceleration you're manually attaching, but you're just hoping you don't get KO'd, you're healing, you've got Ace Roller, etc, etc. The thing is, we need to actually get the energy on in the first place, and it's quite a slow Pokemon to get rolling. And that's where something like Meloetta actually comes in incredibly handy. Because now you're attaching an extra energy during your turn, and if you can get a turn or two of Meloetta rolling, you can actually get a whole bunch of energy down and get kind of a couple of Celebi and Venusaur going at once. Bearing in mind, you can use double colorless energy for them, and you can attach double colorless energy with Meloetta. And the other great thing about that is that Celebi and Venusaur gives up free prizes. Now, that's not usually a good thing. But let's say your opponent takes down a Meloetta, well, they've still got to take out 2 Celebi and Venusaur to win the game. Let's say they take out a Meloetta and a Shaman off the bench. They've still got to take down 2 Celebi and Venusaur in order to win the game. So they would have to take down Meloetta and then take down 2 Shaman off the bench in order to get down to KOing a single one of these to win the game, at which point it's getting pretty gosh darned awkward. Frankly, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, you're going to be alright with this. This is not an attack for every tag team Pokemon. But for ones that are a little bit slower and lacking energy acceleration, this can be good. But it's actually got a really good second attack here as well. What it does is 30 damage, not good. But then you flip a coin until you get tails, and you do 30 more damage for each heads. And what's great about this, basic Pokemon, fighting type, can attack for a double colorless energy. This can go into any deck. This can go into a Zoroark deck. And look, the flipping is a bit awkward, I get it, etc. But this can give you an out. So against Zoroark, you're really looking at Choice Band, 1 Heads, Diancie Prism Star. With a Diancie and a Choice Band and a single Heads, you're now hitting 110, you're getting a 1-hit KO on Zoroark. That's pretty gosh darn good. 30 base, 30 for the Choice Band is 60, Diancie is 80, 1 Heads, 110. But if you get 2 heads, then you're up to 140, and there's Pikachu and Zekrom going down. This can really do some damage. A basic that can take out 2 and 3 prize Pokemon for a single energy attachment, and can be dropped as a complete surprise, I like it. And let's not forget Fighting Dojo. Now, if you're behind on prizes, 30 base, plus 30 for Choice Band is 60, plus 40 for the Fighting Dojo is 100, plus 20 for Diancie Prism Star is 120. That is a KO on a Pikachu and Zekrom for a single energy attachment on a basic Pokemon. Now, you can use Victini here to give yourself a 75% chance of hitting that first heads, but the problem is you then need your Meloetta, and you need a Diancie on the bench, and you need a Victini on the bench. That is literally half of your bench. That is 3 of your 6 Pokemon. It's not half of your bench, it's 40% of your bench. But it's 3 of your 6 Pokemon that you're allowed to have in play. Done. That's not ideal. But it's not for every matchup. Now, if you're already playing Diancie Prism Star, let's say it's a Lycanroc deck, where you're likely to be playing Diancie and you're probably playing double colorless energy for Lycanroc, yes. Outside of that, it can be a little bit awkward because you've got Diancie Prism Star that needs to be here, but it's worth it. I mean, look, this is one of those attacks we've seen before. If you can go and hit like 40 heads, you'll KO anything. But you got a 1 in 2 chance of hitting 1 head, a 1 in 4 chance of hitting 2 heads, a 1 in 8 chance of hitting 3 heads, 1 in 16 of hitting 4 heads, etc. It's not that reliable. Now, if you can hit 9 heads in a row, that is a Magikarp and Wailord Tag Team GX going down. In fact, to be fair, with a Choice Band, you only need 8 heads. That's probably not going to happen. And if you're not hitting for weakness, you're probably not getting many KOs here. But if you are hitting for weakness, this is great. I mean, something like a Zorua goes down just straight away. But with a single heads and a couple of extra cards, which in a fighting deck you'll be playing anyway, you're good to go. I do, however, need to caution you, if you're going to use Fighting Dojo, you need to have basic fighting. And one of the good things about this attack is that it's for a double colorless energy. Obviously, if you just have double colorless, Fighting Dojo won't work. So please do bear that in mind. As it stands, you've got a nice attack here for the first attack, but you need to use it at least twice. Because otherwise you attach an energy to Meloetta, use the attack to attach an energy, lose Meloetta with the energy, and you've attached one energy. You haven't gained anything. You need to use the first attack more than once. But if you can use it more than once, you can get some of these awkward GXs, tag teams up and rolling. The second attack is again a little bit awkward. You really need to hit at least one heads, and if you want to go nuts, it's got to be many heads. But again, it's a good option, and if it wasn't a basic and it wasn't for one energy, I'd like it a lot less. But it is and it is. So I like it just fine. So let's go ahead and give Meloetta between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. It's not a perfect Pokemon and it's not going to go in every deck, but it's got 2 useful attacks, either of which could be very, very good in the right deck, and I expect it to be teched into a bunch of decks. But I would like to know what you expect, ladies and gentlemen, so please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, but please do remember the rule. Be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassiePlays, where we talk about games that don't have Pokemon. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.